How do you know what people actually value? It's quite simple, actually. Just look at where they spend their money and time. Now, the most simple kind of trade in life and the most simple exchange of value everybody kind of has is either exchanging money or time. Why is this the case? If you want to see what people actually value, you need to look at where they spend the money and time. Money is just a kind of a not collateral, but a gain on somebody else's time. So if I have money, I'm able to kind of almost like claim other people's time either for a product. So instead of making pizza, I can order a pizza and I can buy a pizza. I could get the same thing with time, and spending less. I can buy the ingredients, I can spend the time cooking and whatnot. Where people obviously pour money and assets into the things that they really value. It's the type of stuff that people will pay for and not get paid to do. So playing sports at a club, or going to the gym, paying for a gym membership, the fancy food that they get to eat at restaurants, holidays, whatever it might be and stuff. This creates a big contrast in what people say that they value versus in reality what they actually value. I think it was Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett, said was, show me the money and I'll show you the incentives. And that is kind of just it. What are people incentivized, to do? Now, money does show a value, a sort of a value direction for people of some kind. But I think actually a bigger one is time. People might disagree with this because maybe not everybody's conscious of the fact that money is, pretty much infinite. Time, especially to the individual, is not. It's limited. It's the only probably true scarce resource that everybody has, and nobody knows how much of it that they actually have. So for people who are aware of how valuable time is, because it cannot be, replaced, you cannot get more of it, especially if you may be religious and believe, that fates are kind of set or whatnot. But definitely for the case of everybody has a limited amount of time and is aware of that, where they spend their time is where they find the most value. Because one day of holiday like next week is not the same as one day of holiday the previous week or in the next year and stuff, because you're older or younger or in a different stage of your life, or a different place in your life. It might be a different geography. Time is not equal in all aspects, even if it's equal in the quantity that you're trading it for. And because it's the only scarce resource, time is basically infinitely valuable. It's like money really isn't worth anything. Oh, not really talk about that now and stuff, but but is in infinite quantity. Time is in short supply, but is worth an infinite amount. Almost anybody would pay, to get more time. Kind of goes without saying. So where people spend their time really shows what they value the most, because they're also willing to give up doing other things or being in other places or with other people in order to spend time doing that thing. Now think about what people do for free, like, they don't get paid, or they, like I said, they pay to do it, whether it's, volunteering their time for charity, or what's some more good examples? Exercising. I go out running a lot. Clearly, I value the running and whatever it is I get from it. It's mainly the mental aspect, but you understand my meaning. And why is it important to understand how to figure out what people value? Well, it creates a pretty strategic, puts a strategic advantage in your hands, which is if you know what people actually value and not what they say they value, that's an advantage to you. You can play to people's incentives, not in a manipulative way, but in a way which means that both sides win. You get a win-win. If you know what somebody, actually, values at work in terms of, like, say it's a manager or a colleague, what are they incentivized to do? What are they actually working towards, and what do they really value in their, like, role? You can help them towards that. You can be an additional contributing factor to that, and everybody wins. And obviously, it does give you a natural, more advantageous position in life in general to be able to understand what people value. You can work towards, their motives and what they want and what they need. Super, super important skill, and that's all I really want to say on it, to be honest. Figuring out what people value and where they spend where they spend the money and the time is a very, very, very good skill to have. Keep working on it. Thanks for watching.